to professional conduct. These are norms and behaviors predicated on a code of ethics and backed by a complaints and disciplinary process, which we have both in the GSSA and also in SACNASP. And also the related fields of competence, which we'll say a little bit more about. Why do we need codes of ethics and codes of conduct? Well, because most people all have a moral compass, but sometimes we people get lost along the way. So we have in the GSSA a code of ethics, which is effectively a set of principles that would affect decision making. We have a code of conduct that governs actions. And down here we have an example. So a code of ethics is going to say, you must obey the law. The code of conduct actually specifies which of the laws you need to obey under certain circumstances. And then we have various codes of practice, which are specific to practices or competences, such as various national or international standards. That is the GSSA Code of Ethics. There are 9 clauses, and if you belong to the GSSA, adherence to these clauses is actually obligatory. And then what each clause does, it shows a bit of detail. This is the Code of Conduct. So for clause number 7, where we mentioned professional development, so it's obligatory that members should continue their professional development throughout their careers. And this is telling you what you need to do, how you're going to keep abreast with developments, encourage others to do so, and take a positive interest, again, in assisting others to continue with their CPD. This is the code of conduct or the code of practice rather, that is applicable to most geologists. It's the SAMCODES, which is the South African Minerals Reporting Codes. We have SAMREC, which looks at estimating exploration results, mineral resources, mineral reserves. SAMVAL deals with the valuation of mineral assets. And SAMOG, which is oil and gas. We have 2 guidelines dealing with environmental, social, and governance issues, as well as diamonds and gemstone-specific requirements. These sorts of codes of practice are also obligatory for those who were registered with the GSSA. We spoke about the complaints and disciplinary, or the complaints and ethics side of things. If there is anybody out there who is unhappy with the way we as geologists practice our geoscience, they're able to complain to the GSSA. But it must be in writing. And any complaint that comes in, the GSSA must investigate. One of the things that's important is that the whole idea is to improve behaviors. This is not a big stick. We're not going out there to beat people about the ears and to throw them out the GSSA. That's not the whole point of it. We're there to support the geologist and make sure that they're not being unfairly discriminated against. Give you an example of some of the complaints that the GSSA has dealt with over the years. For example, things like plagiarism, unprofessional conduct, resource reporting issues, and this is how they have been resolved. Even criminal conduct. You can be thrown out of the GSSA for criminal conduct. This guy here murdered his wife, and it was considered conduct unbecoming of a geologist, so he was hoofed out of the GSSA But I think that was the least of his problems at the time. These are some of the norms and behaviors that are considered important or relevant to professional conduct. Plagiarism, copyright infringements, geoethics, harassment and discrimination, research integrity, geovandalism, and mentoring. And we'll go through some of the points on these. Plagiarism, as it says, there are two types, unintentional and intentional. It's something that we all deal with, and particularly in this modern age of cut and paste, it is very easy to plagiarize without even realizing it. But because unintentional plagiarism is an issue, it's something that we all need to be very aware of. Geoethics is a reasonably new field, and it deals with ethical, social, and cultural implications of what we do. There are a number of international geoethics organizations, and the GSSA has representation on all of these international bodies, even presenting various papers at some of these conferences. Harassment and discrimination. The GSSA has a formal position on this, and it is referenced to the Code of Ethics and the complaints and disciplinary procedures. There's the membership and transformation portfolios also are there to address these various issues. We are associated with the American Geoscience Institute in this regard, and this identifies some of the areas within professional, educational, and informal geoscience settings where these sorts of issues can be a problem. Geovandalism. Some years ago, everybody came out in arms when illegal miners were destroying a national heritage site, which is fine. How is that different from just a rock? And then another one I want to bring out is, when does research become vandalism? Research integrity. I want to highlight the fact that these issues are not only applicable to academic situations. When you're in corporate geoscience as well, our research results, intellectual honesty, accuracy, fairness, transparency are all important, whether you're at a university or whether you're working for a large or small company. Mentoring. Mentoring within the geosciences can be an issue, not least because geologists work so far apart. I'm doing a fair amount of work in the Northern Cape at the moment, and the next nearest mine to where we're operating is 400 kilometers. Confidentiality, conflicts of interest. So formal structures don't really work too well. Also, we have various kinds of internship. Some work better than others. Some areas people do career path modeling as opposed to formal mentoring. But what's important to us is this informal mentoring, coaching, and tutoring. We've all got the responsibility of helping others wherever possible. As we said earlier, through the formal structures, it might not be that applicable, but there are many informal structures that graduate geologists and those employed in industry can go out and assist others. We need to look for opportunities to do this.